From the Kiss 92.5 studios in Toronto, Canada.
Are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen.
This is Roz and Mocha.
It's Roz and Mocha. What's going on?
Hey guys, this is Bruno Mars.
This is Selena Gomez.
The Chainsmokers.
Lady Gaga.
Calvin Harris.
Celestia Cara.
This is Ed Sheeran.
You're listening to my boys Roz and Mocha.
Roz and Mocha.
My boys Roz and Mocha.
The Roz and Mocha Show.
Between Roz and Mocha, who is your favorite?
Roz. Mocha. Roz. Mocha. You guys are so funny, man.
Congratulations, Lisa! Wow!
You just won $1,000.
That is amazing. Y'all just made my entire morning. Keep it up.
You guys are awesome, man.
This is the Roz and Mocha Show podcast. Roz and Mocha's Fix My Life.
What advice can you guys give me?
Okay, so my question is...
Got a problem you can't fix?
Roz and Mocha got you.
Dallas, Wagwan, it's Roz and Mocha.
Oh, good morning, Mocha.
Yo, is this Dallas from the West Coast?
Yeah, bro.
What's going on, man? Welcome back. You've been on our show like enough times.
Yeah, I was just on a couple weeks ago for a podcast as well.
Yeah. So why are you here on FML?
How do I talk to my boss?
How do I talk to my boss? Dallas, Euro says, hey, Roz and Mocha, fix my life. How do I tell my bosses that I need proper help in my department and others at work? It's been a revolving door of basket cases that never stick around and are more work for me on top of my intense workload. The people they hire are usually nice, but lack any skills that are needed for my job and don't retain the information that I'm teaching them.
Are you able to say, without giving away the name of the company, what kind of industry you're in?
Manufacturing.
Okay. So when these new people are coming in, are they working with you side by side or are they working under you?
Side by side.
Okay.
But technically they'd be under me. I'd be training them.
And so you said it's a revolving door. So people are coming in, not liking what the job is or what the money is, and then they dip, right?
Well, that's honestly, no. It's just people that they either don't have reliable transportation, they don't come into work on time, they don't actually do what they said they could do on their resume, and the amount of work that I have to put into training them wouldn't be bad if they were able to retain the skills that I was teaching them, but they just don't.
With stuff like this, a lot of times you get what you're willing to pay for, right? Mm-hmm. And so is it a good paying job that these people are doing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm able to afford, my house on my income with my family, but yeah. I think they would rather hire. I think their idea is they want to hire lesser paying jobs, like lesser paying people, because as far as I know, they're not making what I'm making, but maybe that's just like a starting salary.
Yeah. So there's a lot of that happening right now, right? Which is there's a lot of jobs that people may want to do, but they don't want to do it for the money that's being offered. Right. Mm-hmm. And it's a problem in every single industry, like every single industry. And work is different for people now, like especially after COVID, like people don't even want to go to work anymore. If you can't do a job 3 days from home, that's a big red flag for somebody looking to join a company. Like it's really wild. So this may just be a case of if they're not going to offer more money to get better qualified people, you're going to have to work with the people that they give you.
Have you had a conversation about this stuff, like with your bosses? Not complain, but explain your side of things and like what your day-to-day is like when new hires come in.
I have very briefly, and my boss, like our plant manager, has said that, she acknowledges that she's not super good with the hiring process, but then she doesn't have anyone involved in the departments that she's hiring for us to be able to even remotely vet what these people who coming in are.
And so if they're short-staffed in the hiring process and the person who's hiring admits that maybe they're not the best at it, I think that the suggestion that may work is if that somebody from the floor could actually sit in on those interviews. Just so there's some questions that need to be answered, basic things that they need to know that you'll be able to sniff out in an interview whether somebody lied or not, or whether somebody's grossly unqualified or not. So instead of going in and complaining, offer a solution.
Mm-hmm.
right?
That's actually a really
and
good
it
idea.
may not be you who sits in on those meetings. Maybe it's your boss or somebody who's been there longer than you. But that's if that's what needs to happen, then suggest that as a solution.
I will have to approach that when the time comes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the last guy showed up, worked till Christmas for a few months, and then left to Tanzania for Christmas break to see his family.
Yeah.
And then never came back.
Oh, damn.
Wow. Isn't that always the case?
Exactly.
Tanzania,
Exactly.
they'll get you.
Every time. Every time.
Try that approach, okay, Dallas?
All right, I will do. Thank
All right,
you very
Holmes.
much.
Appreciate
Take
you,
care.
man. Take care.
Roz and Mocha's Fix My Life.
On Kiss.
Roz and Mocha's Fix My Life.
What advice can you guys give me?
Okay, so my question is,
Got a problem you can't fix?
Roz and Mocha got you.
Katie, hello. It's Roz and Mocha.
hi guys, how are you guys?
Good, good, good. Hopefully we can help fix your life. What's going on?
How can we get a break without feeling judged?
Katie, you wrote, it says, "Hey, Roz and Mocha, fix my life. My husband and I have 2 kids, ages 3 and 1. We're busy and tired, but we love the chaos. Our parents help out with babysitting our 1-year-old while we work. Your 3-year-old is in daycare. You said that we struggle to find time for each other due to our opposite schedules and often miss the one-on-one time we had before kids. We'd love to occasionally have evenings out, but your parents push back saying they didn't need breaks like that when you were kids. And you say that we're not trying to take advantage of their help. We just need a lunch or a dinner every couple of months. How can we ask for help to reconnect as a couple without feeling judged by our parents?"
So, Katie, if I can say one thing, I don't know if this will make you feel better, but just know you're not the first couple to go through this. You are definitely not alone, okay?
Yeah, I know. It's just hard.
Yeah. Oh my God. Of course. Do you have are there outside of your parents, right? Or your in-laws, are there other people in your life that you might be able to lean on? Or let me rephrase that. Not necessarily lean on, but trust.
Absolutely. Yeah, we do. But then if I bring it up saying, hey, mom and dad, whatever, Peter and I are going to go out and we're going to leave the kids with so-and-so, then more judgment. Why are you bothering them? But
you don't have to tell your parents that.
People have offered.
But you don't have to tell your parents that.
So if you go to your parents, right, and you say, "Hey, listen, we want to go for dinner next week. Can you look after the kids?" And they start running the guilt train on you, right?
Mm-hmm,
But do they still wind up looking after the kids?
Probably.
Then who cares?
It ends up being, let's just say, a month in advance. For that month, they just break me down to the point where I'm like, don't worry about it. Like, it's not even worth the hassle anymore.
Okay, so guess what? Then lie to your parents.
Yeah.
Straight up lie.
There's no such thing as if I ask somebody else to watch the kids, then it ends up going back to them anyways through.
And that's fine. Then you just got to be honest with your folks.
Yeah, just who cares what the guilt. Listen, parents are experts at guilting, and I didn't have those kinds of parents, but a lot of people do, and they will, guilt you like they did when you were a kid, because when you grow up and everything else, parents lose that sort of power over their children, right? You become an adult, you're a mother on your own, and parents who feed off that dominance over their kid, that's their parenting style, right? And guilt and guilting and letting you know that you're not good and they were better is really one of the last tools that parents have for adult kids, right? And they're gonna use it. But if they're gonna guilt you, but they're still willing to look after the kids, who cares?
I also think more than guilt, it's also a control thing.
That's what it is. That's all it is. Don't let them control you.
Yeah.
They can guilt you all they want. Who cares?
Yeah.
And if it gets back to them, all you have to do is have a conversation. Like, listen, I asked you a month ago. It's not like I asked you last minute, an hour ago. I asked you a month ago. You said no. We're still doing this. I had to find other childcare.
Yeah. Yeah. And then when she's like,
if that option is available, I know for a lot of people, that option may not exist. So they are stuck in your situation where they do just back down and they don't get to do that couple thing anymore, right? But if you have the option to leave the kids or have somebody come to your house to stay with the kids for 2-3 hours, then don't worry about your folks.
Hey, how old are you?
32.
32. Okay, cool. How old's your parents? How old are your parents?
Early 60s, late 50s.
Okay. So guess what? When you were a kid, I bet you there was plenty of Sundays where you were 10 where they left you home alone for hours.
Oh, how we were raised, I don't even want to get into it.
Okay.
They had plenty. They had plenty of time by themselves.
And they probably left the house and the door was unlocked.
They didn't. They told a neighbor they were going out, your mom going to a Tupperware party or whatever she was doing, right? They told a neighbor, hey, the kid's there. Just keep an eye on the house. And they dipped. Right?
Yeah, we had grandparents beside us, so we were always over there.
Yeah, exactly. So they had the luxury. So they're nobody. They're not lecturing you on we didn't need this kind of stuff when you were kids. They absolutely did. But the difference is they weren't responsible enough to call somebody to come to the house and look after you. They just left you alone and told the grandparents next door, hey, if you see him on the street, kick him back inside.
Yeah, we just got shipped over there.
Yes.
Houses down and see you later.
So
And this is what I say to my parents too. I say, you may not have needed it because whatever, but I'm like, I don't want to end up like you guys.
Oh, yeah,
where they're like roommates. I don't want to be in my 50s, 60s retirement and just have nothing there left with my husband.
I mean, it's a good argument. I would say maybe don't start with the I don't want to end up like you.
Yeah.
When you're asking for a favor.
You'll never have childcare ever again from them. Damn.
You know.
Damn, Katie.
But don't. Who cares about the guilting? That's their stupid trick, and just show them that it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And if they know it doesn't work, then they'll stop.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. I don't know if any of that helps, Katie.
No, it gives me that little bit of extra confidence to stand my ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just know you are not alone in any of this. And I'm really happy that you are trying to make the time for you and your husband to get that connection back. Because some couples don't recognize that and then they just don't do anything about it.
Yeah. And we're still crazy about each other, but it's
good.
We just need that time to refresh and to be better parents, be better partners. To be better parents, right?
Good. You will be. You're going to do all those things, okay?
Thanks so much, guys.
Roz and Mocha's Fix My Life.
On Kiss.
Roz and Mocha's Fix My Life.
Update.
Brooke, hello. Welcome back to the Roz and Mocha Show. How you doing?
Good morning. How are you? I'm good.
Last time we talked to you was in September of 2022.
I know.
So, Brooke, I just want to reread what you had originally written us, okay?
Okay.
You said, hey, Roz and Mocha, fix my life. I've been in a friends with benefits situation for 3 years. In the beginning, things were amazing, and he treated me like I was his girlfriend and that he cared so much about me. Within the last year, he's introduced me to his friends who are a couple, and we go out with them quite often, basically double dating, but he won't commit to me. He doesn't have a job, so that's why I think maybe he isn't ready to commit. Or am I completely dumbass and this man will never be with me? Now, how did that conversation go when you called into us? Do you remember what we had said to you?
I do, actually. I held on to that advice for quite a while.
And what was it? What was the advice?
I'm pretty sure, Roz, you said that not to waste your time. And the reality is I just need to pull up my big girl pants and tell him how I feel. And if he's not going to reciprocate that, then I need to move on with my life.
Right.
And then he was treating you like a rebound, right?
Kind
because
of.
He was in a relationship prior, wasn't he?
Yeah, for a bit. And then we were friends before the friends with benefits started. So it was like a very delayed rebound.
Like you were like the perfect girl. You know what I mean? You were there when he split up and you were willing to give it up and not commit at the beginning because you guys were already friends. And that's like, for a lot of guys, that's the perfect woman. And why does he want to mess with that? Right.
And Brooke, there was one thing, because Roz had asked you at the time 2 years ago, if you would be willing to just straight up leave.
Yeah.
Leave him, right? And the situation. And you told us no.
Yeah.
So 2 years later, what's going on in your world? What's going on with that guy?
So he got a job last year. And that actually changed everything in him, even the way he was acting towards me, like more confidence, more like wanting to do things together. We went on vacation together in May. And we went through like a lot of hardship, which was crazy because we had never gone through anything like that in our like friendship. So, like, my grandpa passed away, and, like, he was just very much so there for me in a way that I've never really had someone be there for me before.
Mm-hmm.
So I think around a couple months ago, I basically was like, enough is enough. Like, I have put my needs and my wants in the back burner for a long time, and this is how I feel. Like, I like you, and I want to be more than just this. And if you can't do that, and if that's not what you want, then, like, I have to walk away. Like, it's not fair to me to continue this for another 4 or 5 years. And then one day I'm just, like, in my mid-30s, and I'm not married. I don't have kids. Like, I don't have anything that I kind of do want for myself, just because I kind of held on to you and thought that maybe you'll change your mind. And to my surprise, he literally was like, no, yeah, like, I want to be in a relationship. And I was like, oh, okay. So now we are dating.
Hey, so it works out.
How long were you guys casual friends with benefits before you got the confirmation that he, in fact, did want to date you?
We were coming up to 4 years this August.
Wow. All right. So now you're just a few months into dating one another.
Yeah.
Although it's like you've been dating for 4 years.
Pretty much dating, just without the label.
Uh-huh. And how are things?
They're really good. Our communication is so good. He validates me. And that was my biggest thing, like, wanting to be in a relationship, is just that validation aspect of, like, you're not just going to turn around one day and be like, okay, like, I'm going to start dating other girls, but, like, you can't be mad because we were never a couple. That's, like, more so how I was always feeling it was going to end up. So I just wanted, like, that set, like, no, I'm dating you because I want to. And if our relationship were to change one day, it's because, like, I don't want to be in the relationship.
Now, do you think that everything else is now from this point on is going to move as slow as it did to get to this point? Meaning, like, are you guys looking to get married in 5-6 years, or have you talked about this, or are things going to be accelerated now?
So we did talk about it. Actually, that was part of the conversation of even getting into a relationship. Like, we had a really big conversation about, like, how he sees his life in the next 5 years and, like, where I see my life. And there is, like, a lot of uncertainty for us in the sense of, like, even if we want children, like, if you asked me a couple of years ago, I'd say, like, kids are for sure for me. But over the past few years, like, I'm not 100% sure on that. He's not 100% sure on that. So we kind of decided, like, we're just going to take things day by day and see what happens. Obviously, yeah, if, like, the relationship is going great and we're, like, 2 years in and things are great and I'm like, yeah, I want to get married, like, if he's not on that page, then that would just go to show, like, then maybe it's never going to be as serious as you want it to be. But I have every intention of hopefully marrying him one day.
The confidence in your voice is so inspiring.
I mean, if he says no, then you're lost, brother. But I waited out this long.
Okay, so is this another red line, though? Because you had a red line before where you're like, hey, if you're not committed to me, I'm walking away. Now, is getting married a red line where you're like, hey, if you don't want to marry me, I'm walking away?
No,
okay.
No. And I told him that straight up. I also told him that, like, I am not going to be the one to bring up a proposal. I already had to bring up being in a relationship.
Gotcha.
That was quite an ego hit for me. Yeah. So I'm like, if when it comes to, like, the next step, that's on you, brother. And I'm not waiting 10 years for it.
Gotcha.
So are you happy, Brooke?
I'm actually so happy.
Okay, good. Well, thank you for the update. Appreciate you.
Of course. And just one thing I did want to say is, like, the reason I had called in 2 years ago was because, like, I lost my dad in 2018. And so, like, when I was going through this and I called you guys, I needed that, like, fatherly advice. And so, like, you guys both really gave that to me, and it stuck with me these last 2 years, even though it took me a while to pull up my big girl pants and do what's best for me. Like, I really do appreciate the advice you guys gave me. I've been listening to the show since I was in, like, elementary school. So it means a lot to me that you guys were there for me during a difficult time.
Brooke, we got you always, okay?
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Catch the guys live
Weekday mornings from 6 to 10.
on Kiss 92.5
Kiss925.com.
or download the Kiss 92.5 app.